Hi, I'm Steve Vietor. I want to give you just a little brief background. I am an electrician that taught the electrical program at Riverland Community College. Also, I'm kind of a unique situation in that the fact that I'm actually working in the wind and solar industry at EDF Renewables, and also had opportunity to work with Purdue on National Science Foundation grant that deals specifically with wind turbine safety and troubleshooting. We're going to talk a little bit about that here too. But today, the real focus of this presentation is I want to talk to you about careers within the renewable energy area. I mean, I know today you hear a lot about renewable energy. I want you to look at it a little differently. I want you to think of renewable energy as a career path. And so today, I just want to briefly talk to you a little bit about some of those opportunities. This right now you're seeing is my email address. And if you ever want to get a hold of me about some of those career opportunities, please take that opportunity to reach out to me. I just want you to, as we go through this presentation, I want you to think about renewable energy. I want you to think about it as wind turbines and wind turbine energy production. Do you think that's a passing phase, or will that be around in the future? Is solar photovoltaic, in other words, making electricity from the sun, is that actually an effective way to make electricity, or is that a waste of money? And of course, there's also a big question about the fact that the sun doesn't shine every day, the wind doesn't blow every day. So are we really, as far as investment, doing a really good investment when we're investing in renewables, but the fact that, that the sun doesn't shine every day, and of course the wind doesn't blow every day. And so these are all things that I want you to think about. These are questions that you're going to run into too. Is our career in renewable energy, is that limited, or does that offer opportunities for advancement? And could you, I suppose, really think about the type of work involved here? Would you want to one day become an electrical troubleshooter? That's something that I want you to think about as we go through this presentation. As I said, the company I work for right now is EDF Renewables, and this is their website. And if you get a chance, go visit the EDF website. There's a lot of really good information there. There's information about the wind industry. There's information about solar, battery storage. That's a big area that's developing right now. And also electric vehicle charging. And, all these emerging technologies are critically important today. When we talk about wind, we need to understand a little bit about some basic terminology. When I talk about a wind turbine in this area right here locally, we'll talk about it as a megawatt turbine. In other words, the turbines here actually produce anywhere from 1.5 megawatts, and realize that that is 1,000,000 watts. That's a lot of power. And today, because of all the wind farms out there, we're actually measuring the power in gigawatts. Think about, because of the tremendous growth. Something else that I want you to understand when we talk about the wind industry is that we're also dealing with the metric system. Normally, if we're talking about wind speed, we're going to use miles per hour, but the reality is in these wind farms, they use meters per second. And so sometimes, this terminology is a little different, but it's not that complicated. We're talking about how we produce energy and large sums of energy. What you're seeing right now is kind of an expanded view of a wind turbine. And that wind turbine, this is part of actually the SCADA system. SCADA stands for Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition. And as a wind turbine technician, you can monitor all these systems via your laptop. As a matter of fact, we can make a lot of changes via that laptop. If you take a look there, on the right-hand side is actually the hub, we refer to it, or the nose cone. And there are blades there that are pitchable. In other words, there's little DC motors that actually rotate those blades. And that's how we capture more efficiently the energy in the wind. And then it comes in through a gearbox. That's the little device there in the middle that you see. And then finally feeds into a generator. And this is an actual view of one of the SCADA screens that you'd pull up on your laptop. Like I said, this is some of the data that we can pull up on our laptop. We can monitor this data on every individual wind turbine. We can also monitor this data on the entire wind farm. You know, a wind farm or a wind park, as they're referred to, refers to multiple wind turbines. And here's a typical screen on the SCADA system that is monitoring multiple wind turbines. Think of it as kind of a part overview. I want you to understand that there is a number of sites as part of this presentation that later on you get the chance. I'd like you to visit. These sites go on and explain a little bit better about some of the technology out there, but they also go on and talk a little bit about Purdue. And as I said earlier, we had the opportunity at Riverland to work with Purdue on this National Science Foundation grant. And I think that's important because that National Science Foundation grant dealing with virtual reality, wind turbine safety and troubleshooting is something that we're planning to make available to the high school, so that while you're in high school, you will be able to actually start looking at some of the technology involved with these wind turbines and actually understand a little bit about some of the computer systems that are involved in these wind turbines and how we're working as a tech out there trying to understand how to quickly and efficiently troubleshoot a wind turbine. And that's kind of really critically important when you look at the whole purpose behind the National Science Foundation simulator that was created, the wind turbine simulator. It is really to help build those skills while you're either in high school or entry-level technician trying to understand how to work on and around turbines, wind turbines safely. Wouldn't be limited just to wind turbines when we're talking about opportunities within renewable energy. We also need to talk a little bit about solar. Solar is a massively growing field today right here in this area. When you think about it, we're making electricity either from wind turbines or we're making electricity from solar. This right here is a view of a solar pathfinder, and the solar pathfinder is a device that will actually at a site where you're proposing a solar installation will actually give you an idea how much solar energy you'll be able to develop over a period of time. This is a device that actually records the surrounding environment at that solar site. If you look closely at it, you'll notice in the shadows, you'll see the silhouette of trees. Well, this system works off of, first off, you level it, you position it where your solar is going to go. Notice there's a compass down there at the bottom. You take a picture of this, and then you upload that picture with other information into a software package. And that will then print out a report that will give you some idea of the solar yield at that site. So right there within solar, you know, there are many career opportunities within solar. People are involved in installing, commissioning. People are involved in selling the systems, or people are involved in the site estimate and assessment. And that's actually what that solar pathfinder is involved in. This is a solar module that we utilized over at Riverland Community College on a project we were working on. Today, as you know, anywhere as you go, solar seems to be really growing fast. It is cost effective. It's a good way to make electricity. And at EDF, we're involved with a lot of what we refer to as utility size solar. There are solar systems that people are putting on their homes. There's solar systems people are putting on their businesses. But EDF works with utility size systems. This is the nameplate off the back of that solar module. This will give you a good understanding of the type of power that one single solar module will put out. Notice up there at the top, maximum power. This module will actually put out 240 watts. And then notice it gives the voltage. And I want you to know under that it says voltage 37.5 volts. And remember, this is a DC voltage. A solar module operates a lot like a battery. Here's an example of students that are installing a solar array. That's what we call it when we bring together a number of individual modules. This one actually was being installed and developed at Riverland Community College. to support an electric vehicle car charger. I want to also talk to you. I mean, really, the important thing to understand is that today renewable energy is right here in your backyard. I hope you maybe have picked up a little information on this, but right now there is a large wind project that is being developed. Actually, it's at a point right now where it's being put into the commission, or what we refer to as the finished stage, and putting that wind farm online. This is located actually in between Austin and Albert Lea. If you're ever driving along the interstate, you'll see those turbines as they're just now coming into production. And that, I think, really goes a long way to explain that renewable energy, wind, is here to stay. It's going to be here a long time. It's a very cost-effective way to develop and produce electricity. It supports the electrical grid. And it goes without saying that careers in this area of renewable energy provide some really good employment, really good jobs. The other item that I want to share with you is another news story that came up recently, and that is about a large solar system. Now notice, this is a megawatt system. This is a 150 megawatt solar system that is also going to be located between Austin and Albert Lea. And when you think about it, you know, the biggest reason I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how important renewables are is that renewables are also critically important when it comes to providing you with a really good career path and a really good sound possibility for development. That's the part, the development and growth. That's the part that I want to share about renewables. For example, EDF, the company that I work for, EDF has excellent wages, full healthcare benefits, company-supported retirement benefits, company training opportunities, and another good thing is you're working days, not nights. But the most important fact is the opportunity for advancements. That's what I see. That's why whenever I get the chance, I like to go out there and I like to share this opportunity. I think more and more students, especially in high school, should understand about these opportunities in renewable energy. How would you prepare for a renewable energy career? The important thing, I think, is that while you're in high school, focus on your STEM studies, science courses, technology courses, electrical studies, mechanical studies, computer skills, any related shop classes that may be available to you. These STEM-related areas will all support your success in renewable energy. Is there renewable energy employment opportunities right out of high school? I get asked that, and well, yes, there are. There are employment opportunities there right out of high school, but I want to stress that to put yourself in that position where you have the opportunities for growth and advancement within any of these renewable energy fields, I would strongly recommend looking at a 2-year technical college or a 4-year engineering college. That right there will really guarantee your success. Today, there is such a need for to fill the workforce vacuum that we have in renewable energy. You know, it's an emerging technology. The growth is phenomenal, and we are at a point where women and men can find amazingly good employment and some really good benefits, any way you look at it. I also want to just share briefly that we had this great opportunity through this National Science Foundation grant to work with Purdue University. Purdue University is a world-renowned engineering university, and basically working with Riverland Community College and EDF Renewables, we were involved in the development of a virtual reality trainer for use in high schools, technical colleges, and 4-year college training. Now, remember earlier I mentioned to you, you think there's a chance that one day you could become a troubleshooter, an electrical troubleshooter inside of a wind turbine, or an electrical troubleshooter at a solar site, because it's critically important that we keep these turbines producing at full output, and we keep these solar sites producing at full output to really reap the benefits of renewable energy. The Purdue virtual reality trainer is designed to develop safety skills and electrical troubleshooting skills for wind turbines. And I want you to understand that our plan is that Purdue would like to offer the virtual reality software to high schools in the future so that they can utilize that in some STEM education. And Riverland would also like to take a look at the possibility of arranging for concurrent credits for high school courses towards Riverland's electrical program. That's really an important thing, is that we want to make sure that you're at the high school level, as you're planning for your career, that we could kind of support some of those interests in some of those fields, and maybe give you a little hands-on at the very high school level. We have a video that I'd like to show you that highlights just how this Purdue virtual realities trainer works.
The Wind Technician Troubleshooting and Safety Simulator is a training tool aimed at improving the wind energy workforce by enhancing current programs of virtual troubleshooting and educational modules. Here, we see the electrical troubleshooting tutorial that walks the user step by step through a virtual version of an electrical system based on a real tool used to learn the software. Afterwards, the user can then embark on a real troubleshooting scenario, complete with PPE selection and remote troubleshooting. Once on site, the user is able to travel to different parts of the turbine to start the troubleshooting process. Here we see the hub and the systems inside it. We can then read through schematics of the system and proceed to take measurements to determine electrical issues. Many parts are measurable and are constantly being updated based on collaborator feedback. There is also a demand for customization, which is being met with a scenario editor that allows instructors to adjust the wind turbine to meet the needs of whatever scenario they have in mind. There are options to save it to a spreadsheet or to upload them to a database upon completion. This concludes the short demo video.
I just want to close by saying that think about the opportunities out there as we move forward with the growth of renewable energy here throughout the United States, but also globally. And I want you to think about it this way. I just want you to understand that this is an opportunity where you can make a great living, a great career, but you're also, think about it, saving the earth, because the bottom line is that we all need to do our part, and renewable energy may just be that part that you want to get involved in. And it's very doable, and I think you'll really enjoy every aspect of that. So please reach out to me if you have any questions. You did earlier see my email address. Take a look at that, and I'd be glad to help you as you're questioning what steps you may want to take in your career path. Thanks.